say you can see art at every street corner in Rome, and it's true, because at every street corner there's a piazza. But they are no ordinary squares. Every single one of them is a work of art. Take a look at our top 5.
Piazza Navona is one of the most beautiful places in Rome, and it's an iconic image of the city. It features 3 fountains, 4 palazzos and 2 churches.
Imagine that 2000 years ago here was a huge racing track for chariots. Now it is a charming square and the perfect place for you to experience the Italians' favorite activity, the dolce far niente. The Fountain of the Four Rivers represents the 4 major rivers of the 4 continents known at the time. The Ganges for Asia, the Nile for Africa, Rio de la Plata representing America, and the Danube for Europe. In the middle of the fountain, it is an ancient Egyptian obelisk surmounted by a dove with an olive twig, the Pamphili family emblem. Right behind the Fountain of the Four Rivers and facing Palazzo Pamphili is Sant'Agnese in Agona, a 17th century Baroque church. It is often said that Bernini sculpted the figure of the Nile covering his eyes, as if he thought the facade designed by his rival Borromini could crumble atop him. The story is nothing but an urban legend. Bernini's fountain predates the facade by some years. The church was designed as a Pamphili family chapel, and it was commissioned by Pope Innocent X of the Pamphili family. In fact, you can see the dove, the Pamphili family symbol, in many paintings and frescoes inside the church. Although the Pantheon was built in the 1st century AD, Piazza della Rotonda was laid out and paved in the 15th century. At the center of the piazza is the Fountain of the Pantheon, which was built a century later. The obelisk at the center of the fountain was added in the 18th century and was brought from Egypt, being originally constructed by Pharaoh Ramses II. Although the fountain is beautiful, the star of Piazza della Rotonda is the mighty Pantheon.
The Pantheon is one of the best preserved buildings from ancient Rome. The construction started during the reign of Augustus, and a century later it was finished under the reign of Hadrian. It is so well preserved because since the 7th century AD it is also used as a church, St. Mary of the Martyrs. Here inside the Pantheon is buried Vittorio Emanuele II, the first king of United Italy, and over over that part is buried Raphael Sanzio, the great Renaissance painter. So this is Piazza Hispana. We're right at the steps of the Fontana della Barcaccia, which was, of course, designed by Gian Lorenzo Bernini. There is the Spanish embassy that gives the name to this place, the Spanish Square.
Few tourists notice that John Keats Memorial House is on the right of the Spanish Steps. The famous English poet arrived here hoping that the seaside air will cure his illness, but only lived here for the last months of his life. The current restoration project of the Spanish Steps cost 1.5 million euros, and it's paid for by luxury jeweler Bulgari.
This is Cafe Greco, just down the street from the Spanish Stairs, and it's 250 years old, and famous people like Ernest Hemingway just drink their coffee every day here. After antiquity and then the Renaissance and Baroque, the third glorious period of the Italian people was the end of the 19th century. They were reunited under King Vittorio Emanuele II. His monument is here, and there's also the monument of the unknown soldier.
The Italians are not quite fond of the ardor of the fatherland, calling the building the typewriter or the wedding cake. Right next to the Venice Square, there's Emperor Trajan's Forum with the majestic 38 meters Trajan's Column. Piazza del Popolo, the People's Square, was once Porta Flaminia, the starting point of the Via Flaminia, the most important route to the north of the Roman Empire. At the time, it was the traveler's first view of Rome upon arrival. For centuries, Piazza del Popolo was a place for public executions. The last one took place in 1826. Nowadays is a popular place for tourists and locals to gather.